Good, good. What do you prefer? Do you prefer Spanish? You prefer English?
Both, whatever you want.
You
I've
want?
never done one in Spanish, so
Oh, okay. Vienes de Colombia, ¿verdad?
sí, 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 de Colombia, de Barranquilla.
Okay, okay. Well, we could do Spanglish too. That always works.
Let's do Spanglish. Let's go for it.
So, how are you feeling? How is life right now?
It's amazing. I'm currently in New York. I haven't been here since I was like 9. So I'm very happy. It's awesome. The food is great. The people are questionable sometimes, but
Yeah, but the
it's
food,
awesome. The food, though, the food is awesome.
you can't be. I read a Snapple fact that said New York has like more French restaurants than Paris.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy. I trust you.
I
I don't
trust.
know. I haven't seen a French restaurant yet, but that's probably a true fact because there's so many food spots here, so that's probably true.
Is there one that's like, I will hit you up every day for you?
Um, well, where I feel like, I mean, in general, Chelsea Market might be like a good thing. We went yesterday for lunch, and there's just too many options there. I feel like that's something you can hit up every day.
Yeah.
But where else have I gone to that I really like? Oh, we went to an Indian place. It's called like Chote Nawab, something like that. Oh, it was awesome. I've recently gained a really big love for Indian food because my best friend's mom always makes it for us when we go like hang out at her house. And it's awesome. So I've gained a lot of love for Indian food recently. So
Ooh, if your music could be a food, what do you think it would be? And then we'll get off the food topic.
a food, it would probably be because I just ate it, a gyro. I just ate one.
What?
So
I didn't
yes, because
expect that.
it has so many components and you can mix and match, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you can add cucumber, you can add chicken, lamb, the sauces, you have a little bit of everything. So maybe a gyro.
Okay. A gyro. Okay.
Yes,
I feel it. I mean, it's layered. It's cooked to
it's
be
layered.
tender. It's tenderly
Exactly.
cooked. I get it.
Exactly.
Well, when, for a lot of artists, when they're releasing music, by the time it's released, it's like 2 years old, a year old. Do you still feel,
Yeah.
do you feel like the music you're releasing now is still you, or is it like a letter to your past self?
That is a great question because I definitely feel that with most songs, I'm like, it's not how I feel right now because it's a year old song and I've changed a lot. I'm only 19. So, at this age, you evolve and change constantly. So, it's definitely like a letter to my past self. And I still want whatever I wrote back then to be heard because someone wants to hear it and someone needs to listen to what I wrote and it might help somebody. So I still want to release them, but it's definitely like a letter to my past self. I don't think any artist releases a song. I don't think it's possible like as soon as you write it, or maybe it is. I don't know. If you love it that much, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like if you tap into an emotion so purely, you'll identify with the song at least again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely still identify with every song I put out, or else I would not put them out. But maybe the emotion I felt at that time has become like I've become more accustomed to it, or I've understood why I felt a certain way, or I've like digested the thought or emotion I wrote about at the time. So when I release a song, I like understand myself more like from when I wrote it back then. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of how I see it.
No, no, no. I feel like what you're saying is when you create a song at the moment, you release what you need to release. And then when you
Yeah.
release it to the world, by then you have understanding.
Exactly. Like I worked through it and I know what the deal was at the time. And I feel like that might be better because like sometimes it's better to know what you really meant before releasing something while still being unsure about it. Or maybe that's a different kind of thrill to art. Who knows?
I don't
There's
know.
many faces to it.
Yeah, I don't know because I mean I think for me, I think you do know. You always,
Yeah,
but I think by the time you release it, you accept.
exactly. It's about accepting it and working through it. And at that point, like you already know, or you don't. It doesn't really matter. It's just about sharing it. It's about sharing it, and hopefully, people can relate and feel heard when you feel a certain type of way. So that's what it's all about, honestly.
Is there an artist that makes you feel heard? Like usually we have our inspirations and it's because they made us feel seen.
Yes. So I have a couple, and they vary like from age and years and eras because I listen to a lot of old music and I obviously listen to a lot of modern music, but I really identify with like Queen, and not even like lyrically, but like sonically, their music just makes me feel like very safe. I don't
Mm.
know why. I don't know how to explain it, but like today, an artist that makes me feel very comforted is SZA. I really like Billie
Mm.
Eilish. I really like Harry Styles. There's a couple that are like, and not like I said, not lyrically, because sometimes people just write about stuff that they themselves feel, and you don't have to relate to it, but like sonically, their music is just very like comforting. It hits home. So like
Ooh, okay.
those four. Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I play with my hair a lot. Ooh, I like that. I think SZA and Janae Aiko, oh my God, and Kalani.
Oh
My,
yes. Oh
my,
my god.
yeah.
Kelani. You're so right. Kelani is so nice. And also the fact that she's a mom now, when I listened to her new album, it made me feel like so at peace. I don't know. I loved her new album. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I like these songs. But do you feel you match their sound, or is it one of those things where you're like, they inspire me, but I end up going the opposite way? It's kind of like
Well, I have like I I have too many like inspirations, and I take from a lot and I try to make it my own, like mix different aspects and make them me. But I definitely take from SZA a lot because I've been listening to her since like 2017, 2016, and I love Control, her album Control. It's amazing. So I've taken a lot from her, and I feel like if you look for it, like in so-called friends and stuff like that, there's definitely SZA elements. There's definitely Kalani elements, but I try to not like copy and paste because that's not my vibe. You know,
and I
I,
don't
I take and
even,
I digest in my way.
I find it fascinating that people copy because I have a harder time copying than being
Yeah,
like it's hard for me to copy. I don't I feel like I'm it's not even that you feel fake, it's just literally so hard to be a double.
yeah. I feel that way too. And that's like something I wrote a song about. Like, Be Somebody is about this type of like conversations where to me it's easier to just be yourself. Obviously, everyone like gets inspiration from somebody or somewhere. Like, no one's 100% unique. Like, I can see a girl on the street that's dressed super cool, and I'm like, oh, I like your shirt, and I can get something like it. So, and someone else sees me and they're gonna think the same.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like be a clone because I'm gonna feel empty that way.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote Be Somebody about. It's about exactly this conversation. So awesome.
We're like leading, we're just like flowing into
Wow.
your
Right.
songs. Be somebody, friend, like some friends, like, well, it seems like you write about kind of the internal turmoil and treasures of interacting with people. Like your music
Yeah.
is very like me in the world versus like me in my own world.
Yes, it's definitely me versus the world a lot of the times. And it's changed a little bit because before, like my earlier songs when I first started writing, it was more like the world is trying to end me, but now it's flipped and it's like I'm not gonna let the world consume me. Like I'm gonna fight back and be who I wanna be, do what I wanna do. It's definitely flipped a lot, and you can see it from like I'd say like the it changed from without you to so-called friends. Like without you is definitely me versus the world who wants to kill me, and then so-called friends from to now is like, yeah, I'm gonna fight back and I'm gonna be myself and I'm gonna work hard and do all of that stuff. So it's changed, definitely.
Yeah. I think you grew up.
Yeah, I did. I still got a long way to go,
Yeah, I mean, you have
but
a
I've
whole life.
grown.
You have a whole life.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
yeah.
feels like you versus the world. But when you write these songs and you see your interactions and you're talking about like now I'm trying to be me, was there an element of you kind of seeing the you versus yourself? Like, why do you think you molded for a while?
Well, I mean, there was definitely like, okay, this goes back to what we were just talking about like songs that haven't come out yet. There's like the quarantine songs that were definitely more like me versus me.
Yeah, yeah,
Those were definitely more me versus me, and I've never like tapped into that before quarantine. So those were interesting to write because I had to dig deep for those. You know what I mean? Like those were definitely harder to navigate and write, but I think it's easier to write me versus the world because it's easier to like point a finger at others instead of like doing me versus me, which is like maybe it's my fault that I am this way or that I'm being, treated this way, stuff like that that you also have to be conscious of. So um me versus me is harder for me to write, but it's necessary to be self-aware. But yeah.
yeah. For sure, for sure. I think that happened to a lot of people. I mean, when you're in isolation, you have to confront yourself. So now that
Yeah.
you're out of isolation and you had that confrontation, it feels like the music you're releasing is for before that confrontation. The music you will release is during that confrontation. So the music that
Yeah.
you're creating now, what is that aftermath of I molded, I freed myself from them, now I freed myself from me. What is this aftermath?
The aftermath, I would say it's more like me still trying to understand how I work, kind of mentally and internally. Because, like, I wrote a couple songs like a few months ago that are kind of like not me versus me. It's just me understanding myself, not in confrontation, not anything like that. Just me, like, okay, sit down, write what you feel. Like one of the songs I wrote is like about when my friends left for college and how I felt towards that situation, but not in like a malicious way, not in like a grudgy way, just in general. Like how do I feel about it? I feel like that's what I'm starting to write now. Like um it's just me navigating my emotions and like trying to understand them now instead of understanding them when I release a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. It feels like now you're picking yourself up more instantly rather than, 12 months of depression or like a absolute breakdown. And 3 months later, you're like,
Totally.
I'm good. I'm good. I
Yeah,
get that.
exactly. Exactly. You just write it down, let it out, and it's there, but it's not bothering you anymore. And I
Ooh,
like that.
I like that. There's a element of manifestation too.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely tied a little into manifestation as well. Like you write it, you leave it, forget about it, and it's there, but you don't worry about it anymore.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. That sounds cool.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I always,
it is.
we're heading towards like 15 minutes, and I know it was like a 15, 20-minute interview, and I always end the interviews with like a little bit of like an oracle card pull. Would you like me to pull an oracle card for you, or?
A
Hmm?
what?
Oracle. I always pull like an oracle card for people if you want.
Oh,
They're like
yeah, let's do
positive,
it.
positive, so don't worry about it.
I've never done something like this, so let's see.
Let's see. Ooh. So you got Hilarion and you got diversity. So what these two mean is like Hilarion means like somebody who is very connected to their ancestors, their spiritual world, their spiritual surroundings. And diversity means like it's in the name. It's kind of like, but this is a card about industry. So it means that I think with together, it's kind of like your ancestors and your the people, the spiritual energy around you is trying to help you expand and diversify not only what you do, but the people that you meet to help you do it. And it's in the industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's weird because my grandfather just passed away, and I feel like that might tie into like this whole thing. So that's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Thanks, G-Paw, G-Paw, G-Paw.
Deepa, thanks,
And then
Deepa.
we pull like two more. Do, 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 do. Okay. Oh God, these.
Also, sorry about the noise. I'm in the Greek restaurant, so we're getting the gyro vibes in here.
Yeah, it's again, you get these two, you have views of the ego and you have loving elementals. So I think that what they're trying to say is that you got the Buddha prepares upside down, which is weird because this is a card that upright means somebody who's initiating, but upside down, it always means the reverse. So I think what this is trying to say that as you expand, there is an element, there's going to be times when you have to wait and you have to be paused.
Yeah,
I think what they're trying to say
yeah,
is like the cards together are kind of like don't disrupt. Waiting is usually it's like you wait in the line to get into the room. So don't feel like nothing's happening because nothing's happening.
yeah.
And that's where you get like views of the ego, which is kind of like just make sure that you always check yourself because you have loving elementals, which is just a lot of good energy is surrounding you in terms of nature, in terms of spiritual energy. So it's just saying be patient because when you expand, it's not always easy and it's not always quick. That's really
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you. It's not
good.
lineal. That's a
Yeah,
good. That's a good message.
it's like a like you know how the butterfly wings flap this way, it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. And naturally when things start spreading, there are hiccups, there's slowness, there's kind of like
Yeah.
you know.
Totally. Totally. Oh, awesome. I'll have that in mind. What a lovely message.
Yay, good. Well, this was a great interview. I love talking to you,
Yes.
love learning from you, and
Oh my God. Likewise.
I hope you continue to love New
Yes.
York, and I'm
Oh
excited to
yeah.
see the aftermath
Oh yeah.
of all
Oh
this
my God.
stuff.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's
All
see
right.
where it goes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see
Thank
you.
you so much. Bye
Bye.
bye.